Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more WWE 2k15 Universe Mode. My name is BrendenPlayz. Big episode because this is the final episode of Universe Mode before the Survivor Series pay-per-view. This is the go-home show for Main Event and SmackDown. And to celebrate that, we're going to be doing 3 matches just like we did last episode. We'll do a match on Main Event and 2 on SmackDown. So this, just to let you know, we had a little bit of a recording error with the beginning of the Main Event card. So you'll see in a moment what I mean. But anyways, Golden Stardust taking on Zayn and Neville. Mark Henry will take on Rob Van Dam. Of course, Mark Henry will be a part of Team Sheamus. And yeah, so AJ Lee versus Brie Bella. As you can see, we had a recording error, so I already had gone ahead and simulated the matches. So Zayn and Neville get the victory. So we didn't really lose anything, so it's not a big deal. But anyways, Zayn and Neville, they beat Golden Stardust. Rob Van Dam defeated Mark Henry. AJ Lee defeated Brie Bella. And we're going to go ahead and do our next matchup. So it will be Jimmy Uso versus Luke Harper. So we're going to go ahead and get straight into that one now. So yeah, so we didn't lose anything, just a little bit of a minor error. You know, these things kind of happen, so whatever. But anyways, here it is. The Usos coming up against the Wyatts in the form of Jimmy versus Luke Harper. So obviously Jimmy Uso, you go back a few weeks ago, it wasn't long ago that he was out on the shelf. He was struggling, battling rib injuries that was caused by the hand of the Wyatts. And now you turn it all around, and now the Usos are the team to beat. They are truly the #1 team right now. They had a triumphant comeback at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and I was very impressed. So, I tell you what, the Usos, I would have to say, you know, obviously they're having a match against the Wyatt family at Survivor Series for the tag team titles, if you're not aware. I would probably say the Usos have to be the favorites. Despite the destruction that we know the Wyatt family can do, I just get the feeling the Usos they want it just that little bit more than what the Wyatts do at the moment. I think the Wyatts, been there, done that with the tag titles, and maybe they're going to set their sights on something else. I think Bray Wyatt, obviously, losing his Intercontinental Championship, you know, he's probably thinking about other things, and, you know, so I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish here, but, you know, we'll see. So Uso and Harper all locked up at the moment, so this is going to be an interesting one. You know, the Wyatts wanting to gain some momentum. They have been a bit hit and miss ever since losing their tag team titles. I wouldn't say they've been the dominant team that we've seen them be in the past, so definitely that has to weigh in your mind. You know, can the Wyatts go back to the way they used to be? Go back to being the most dominant team we've ever seen? I don't know. I even would have to say I don't think they can. I think it's very difficult to go on such a high and then come crashing down to a low and recover from that. So the Usos, they're definitely on their high right now, and I think they're still feeding off the adrenaline and the, you know, just the kind of the hatred and, you know, revenge has kind of fueled them to try and defeat the Wyatt family, and we'll have to wait and see at Survivor Series how this one all goes down, of course. But definitely the Usos, I would say, have the momentum and have all the confidence behind them. But I wouldn't count out the Wyatt family. I would never dare do that. So obviously the Wyatts, a big chance. But definitely, you look on paper, you look in terms of momentum, who has it, you'd have to say the Usos for sure. But Survivor Series has a big card, and it's going to be a really big pay-per-view. I think it's going to be a really long one as well, so a bit longer than probably normal. Obviously, a lot of tag team matches on there as well, so obviously that's going to mean there's going to be, you know, some long matches just from what the game normally produces. But if you aren't aware of the full card, it is now up on the website, and if any changes are made, I know we still need to find out the 3rd member for Team Undertaker, and we will find out this episode. Any changes that are made will be updated on the website as well, so BrendenPlayz.com, and you click the Survivor Series logo on the right hand side of the page. It'll take you straight to the pay-per-view page, and you can see the card for the pay-per-view. So yeah, obviously a lot of big matches coming up, and obviously the Wyatts and the Usos will be partaking in a tag team match for the World Tag Team titles. Bray Wyatt himself will be a part of that 6-man tag team match that I just mentioned, and he'll be a part of Team Jericho, and Chris Jericho and Sting will be joining Bray Wyatt on that team to take on Dean Ambrose, The Undertaker, and, well, we don't know the 3rd man yet. So definitely it's shaping up to be a big pay-per-view, and we'll also have on the SmackDown side, we have Rusev versus CM Punk in the final of the #1 Contenders tournament that was announced last week. We had the semi-final matches, and of course we had Rusev and CM Punk win their respective matches to make it into the finals. So we've been covering that tournament for the last few weeks. That's why I want to do an extra match this week, just to kind of touch base with some of the other matches that we haven't really been focusing on in terms of actually showcasing the matches. So definitely one like this one, and you know, we'll see what else we got on SmackDown for sure. But so yeah, at the moment, Luke Harper in control of Jimmy Uso, and wait a minute, Harper, here he comes! Oh, and a nice flying kick right to the head of Uso, and he follows up with a nice elbow drop as well. Obviously, Jimmy Uso has that rib cage injury, so is he 100% recover from that injury? I don't even know. I mean, obviously he's probably putting on a brave face, but a move like that isn't going to tickle, and certainly may re-injure those ribs, and that's something he has to be wary of come Survivor Series, that he doesn't try and aggravate anything. And what a big boot there by Luke Harper. Down goes Jimmy Uso, the cover now. This could be enough to put him away. He kicks out at 2, so big kick out there to stay alive in this one. Wait a minute, Harper the knee to the midsection. Oh, what a clothesline! Almost taking his head off. Luke Harper, is that going to be enough? You'd have to say so. There's the 3 count. Luke Harper wins his match. And the Wyatt family now have momentum heading in towards the pay-per-view. That's a big win. Luke Harper needed that. Eric Rowan needed that. The Wyatt family needed that. Just to get a little bit more confidence and some self-belief that they can possibly beat the Usos and retain their, or get back their tag team titles at the pay-per-view. What a victory. Oh, wait a minute. The Wyatts oh, wait a minute. The Wyatts are not done yet. Bray Wyatt, what's he got planned? What has he got planned for Jimmy Uso? Oh, no. This is going to be a message sent not only to the Usos, but to Team Undertaker as well. And that is Sister Abigail. You know, I don't even blame Jey Uso for getting the hell out of there and not wanting to get involved, because 3 big men in that ring is a place you do not want to be, as Jimmy Uso just found out. Bray Wyatt sending a message. The Wyatt family are ready. And will they survive Survivor Series? And will they take out the Usos and bring back the tag team gold to the family? We'll find out very, very soon. Alright, now it's time to move on to this week's SmackDown, and we have a big card for you guys this week. So we have AJ Lee and Paige teaming up to take on the Bella Twins. Of course, Brie Bella is now the #1 contender for the Divas Championship, which of course Paige does hold at this moment. Of course, many of you guys were saying Paige should be facing both Brie and AJ Lee in a triple threat. But unfortunately for AJ, she misses out. Rusev's in action. He'll be taking on Batista. Rusev, of course, in part of the final matchup. As well as this man, CM Punk, who'll be taking on Bad News Barrett. So 2 big matches for those 2 guys. Primetime players looking to get back some winning form. And they'll take on Miz and Mizdow. Dean Ambrose will go one-on-one with Chris Jericho. This is one of our 2 highlighted matches for SmackDown. And of course, those guys will face each other at Survivor Series, as will these 2. Bray Wyatt is in action against the returning Undertaker. First time we've seen the dead man since Hell in a Cell, where Sting beat the living hell out of him and truly did a lot of damage. I don't know how Undertaker is still standing, but he's here. He'll be in action as AJ and Paige knock off the Bella Twins. So Paige will have the last laugh heading in towards Survivor Series. Rusev and Batista. Who is going to win this one? It is going to be Batista. So Rusev, a bit of a setback. He's been on a roll. He beat Lesnar and Cena. Now he couldn't beat Batista though. As Bad News Barrett also defeats CM Punk. So both our finalists may be running out of gas just before the pay-per-view. So at least they're not losing when it matters. But maybe they're phoning it in before the pay-per-view. As the primetime players, they do get their victory over Miz and Mizdow. So that's a big loss for both Rusev and Punk. You know, obviously you go through a tournament like that where you have to face the best of the best 3 weeks in a row, and I guess in the 4th week maybe you're kind of phoning it in, maybe you don't really care all that much if you do lose, so I guess that's kind of understandable, but certainly not a way to go into the pay-per-view with much momentum. Anyways, I guess both of them losing kind of cancels it out, doesn't it? So Dean Ambrose now Intercontinental Champion. This is going to be champion versus champion. I forgot to mention that. Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose coming up against World Heavyweight Champion Chris Jericho. And Dean Ambrose was kind of just inserted into this whole situation. You know, I don't know whether it was by default or... But Dean Ambrose has had his dealings with Bray Wyatt for quite some time now, for the past few months. And Bray Wyatt has teamed up with Jericho in the past, so it kind of makes sense that Jericho decided to choose Bray Wyatt to join his team. And you go back to it, of course, Christian made an appearance when Jericho did decide his team, and Christian thought he was going to be the man. He thought the Charisma Code were going to come back. He thought the Charisma Code was going to rule SmackDown, and he would be a part of Team Jericho. It wasn't to be. Bray Wyatt was chosen before Christian, or I don't even know if did Jericho know that Christian was there? Did Jericho know that Christian was available? I don't know. Jericho says he didn't know, but, you know, we know Jericho. Maybe he did. Maybe he decided, look, I don't want anything to do with Christian anymore. So, yeah. But anyways, Bray Wyatt was chosen, and it just made logical sense for Dean Ambrose to be on the opposite side of Bray Wyatt. And, you know, Dean Ambrose knows how to beat Bray Wyatt, so it was a good pick there by The Undertaker, who decided to choose Ambrose to join his team. We don't know who's going to be the third man, so we'll have to wait and find out, you know, who's going to tell us. Will The Undertaker tell us after his match later on? Perhaps he will. And it's good to see The Undertaker back. He will be in action next up, of course, against Bray Wyatt, the man that we just spoke about. But obviously, champion versus champion match right now, but it's not really about the title. It's about, I guess, you know, for lack of a better word, bragging rights. It's about proving who is the best. Dean Ambrose has retained his title before against Bray Wyatt, but Bray Wyatt, I think he knows that the Intercontinental Championship may no longer be in his sights, but Bray Wyatt still wants to get the last say in their rivalry. Bray Wyatt still wants to get that one last win, and he certainly needs it. And there's a big DDT there by Ambrose. Down goes Jericho, and obviously Jericho has defeated The Undertaker at recent times, but there's been a lot of rumors that maybe Undertaker's mind just wasn't in the game. You know, obviously Sting coming along and playing a big factor with The Undertaker, and the mind games that Sting has been playing. You know, Sting basically has said that he's going to come whenever The Undertaker is there and make sure he never wins. Sting's going to appear to try and give hell to The Undertaker at any possible time. So that's obviously going to play in your mind in a big match like that. But not to discredit Jericho. Jericho obviously defeated The Undertaker, and he's defeated him multiple times in recent times, and has deserved to be the champion. And maybe one last bout between those two before it's all said and done is what Undertaker wants, as it is Team Jericho. There's a nice suplex there by Jericho and Ambrose. Team Jericho versus The Undertaker. And I know that's the build matchup, but I get the feeling that Undertaker, he's more looking forward to getting his hands on Sting rather than Jericho. But it'd be nice to, I suppose, get a pinfall victory over the world champion. That's always a good thing to do, isn't it? So, a nice suplex again by Jericho, who's in control of this one. And look at that cocky pin. Look at Jericho. Wow. Just putting the boot onto the chest of Ambrose. Not bothering to hook the leg. Doesn't want to get on the ground. Just wants to put the boot there. And he's continuing the damage as well. Jericho showing his true colors right now in this matchup. And he's truly been very arrogant, very cocky. And I think he probably feels pretty good about himself. He's got Sting on his team. The first match that Sting will ever compete in on Universe Mode. It's thanks to Chris Jericho. So Jericho's probably feeling pretty good about himself. I'd say he thinks his team's a good chance of victory. A nice underhook suplex there by Ambrose. Here is the pinfall attempt. And Jericho kicks out at one before anything can really happen there. With Ambrose back up to his feet, looking to keep the momentum going, but Jericho throws him against the ropes. Ambrose able to counter with the swinging neckbreaker as well. So nice move there by Ambrose to keep the momentum rolling for him. And he had a bad start to this one, but he's looking good now. And a nice little kick to the midsection as well. Jericho trying to get back to his feet, but Ambrose in full control thus far.
Jericho's in trouble.
And here we go, against the ropes again. Jericho this time counters and hits a neck breaker of his own. So a switch of roles there between the two men. The two champions. The two arguably the best on SmackDown right now. Ambrose and Jericho, two of the best we have. And I mean, you know, it's interesting to see, you know, who is The Undertaker going to pick. We just saw Batista get a big victory. Maybe Batista's an option. Brock Lesnar's been such a dynamic force over the months and years of Universe Mode. You know, he's got a lot of options, and, you know, definitely Ambrose, like I said earlier, is probably one of the best options that he could have right now, and Ambrose knows how to win a championship and knows how to win a big match, and there is no bigger match than this one at Survivor Series, so it's going to be very interesting indeed, as Ambrose another kick to the midsection to Jericho again, and now both men going at it. It's a bit of a slugfest right now. Ambrose getting some shots in, and Jericho with a counter again. Oh, and down goes Ambrose one more time. by Chris Jericho, and Ambrose is just about to get in control, just getting some momentum, and Jericho puts a halt to it just like that. And now a nice kick as well. And wait a minute, what's Jericho thinking? Is he trying to set him into the right spot to go over the top? Oh! Big splash over the top rope. Jericho sent flying. We don't really see that too often by the world champion, but when he does do it with great effect. And he has to bring out the big moves to try and put Ambrose away, and a drop kick to perfection. That was swift, and that was quick as well. Ambrose wasn't expecting that. Jericho able to get up there, hit the drop kick to perfection, and keep Ambrose down. And Ambrose is in a lot of trouble, and he's going to try and stay in this one as Jericho looking. Oh, wait a minute, looking to get the walls of Jericho in. Can he get him over? He's got him rolled over. Ambrose very close to the ropes though, and he's able to get to the break straight away. So Jericho, maybe you're making a mistake there. Oh, there's no mistake with that though. There is no mistake with the code breaker. Is that going to be it? It is. Chris Jericho has just pinned the Intercontinental Champion, just days away from Survivor Series. The team captain of Team Jericho picks up a huge victory, and I tell you what, it's Christian. I'm kidding. It's Christian. He's here. Christian's here, and a neck breaker straight away to Jericho, who didn't even have enough time to raise his hand after his victory. And Christian's here. Wait a minute. Jericho sent down. Is Christian the third man? Is Christian the third man for Survivor Series? Jericho, don't get up. You're not going to like what's going to happen next. And here we go. And he can. Yes, he can. The kill switch to Jericho. One more match for Christian, and it's going to happen at Survivor Series, is it? Is that a sign? Christian, he's waited for his time to strike, and obviously he is ready for Survivor Series. If he's going to be the third man, I think it makes sense. Team Jericho versus Team Taker. The third man is Christian. Well, what a statement sent there by Captain Charisma, who's looking for one more big match. And speaking of a big match, it's about to happen right now as The Undertaker makes his triumphant return to Universe Mode to take on Bray Wyatt. Oh, Christian coming back, and you know, you talk about a guy that would make sense to be on this team. You talk about a guy that's got a personal issue with somebody. That is definitely Christian. Like we spoke about it briefly before, but Christian was just tossed aside, just tossed away like he meant nothing to Jericho. Jericho cashed in his money in the bank, went to SmackDown, didn't even let Christian know what was happening, and that was still a tag team at the time. He didn't give a damn. You know, Christian was told by Jericho to go back to Raw and, you know, leave him alone and never come back. He never wants to see him again here on SmackDown. Well, Christian, he waited. I guess he gave Jericho the illusion that he was going away. He wasn't going to come back. And he left. He didn't come on. He wasn't on SmackDown for 4 weeks. We didn't see him for a long time. And, well, he came back, and I tell you what, he made an impact. And now Undertaker can kind of rest easy. Maybe Undertaker was aware of Christian, and maybe they've been in talks for the last few weeks while Taker and Christian have both been out. But at the moment, it is Undertaker and Bray Wyatt right now. And this is the return of The Undertaker. It's good to see him back in action. And we don't know the extent of the injuries that he suffered at Hell in a Cell, but you go back and watch Hell in a Cell, oh man, it was brutal. Sting came out, got in the cell somehow, I don't even know. I think Jericho kind of let him in there as Jericho was walking away. The lights went out, Sting was in the middle of the ring, and he just started beating the living hell out of The Undertaker. Weapon shots, he hit the Scorpion Death Drop, it was bad. And Undertaker, we haven't seen him since until right now. And I think Undertaker, for himself personally and for his team, I think Undertaker psychologically just needed to be here on SmackDown. If he loses tonight, so be it. I just think The Undertaker needed to come back, needed to be on the show to make an impact and just let his teammates know that he is ready and he's ready to go. If he beats Bray Wyatt, that's great. If he doesn't, well then, you know, that's fine, like I said, because Undertaker, you can't really expect him to be 100%, but is he going to be 100% for Survivor Series? I don't know. You know, is a month enough time to recover? And obviously, he could suffer some injuries from Bray Wyatt tonight and could further extend his current injuries. So it's a big risk The Undertaker is making, but it's one that I think he needed to make just to kind of get in the head of Team Jericho and just give them the perception that Undertaker is ready to go. Because if the Undertaker did not appear until Survivor Series, that would at least say to me, if I was on Team Jericho, that would say to me that, look, Undertaker's not ready. Undertaker is not 100%. Undertaker's not ready to go. So we've already got one up. That's already one guy basically eliminated from the match. And so in their minds, they might be thinking it's a 3-on-2 handicap match already. Because you could pretty much say if Undertaker's not 100%, he's a liability for the team, and it could be a 3-on-2 situation possibly. So yeah, it's a tough situation for the Undertaker, but like I said, he needed to be out here tonight and make an impact. And it's good to see him here. And so far so good with the Undertaker against Bray Wyatt, as a nice suplex, so he can't be feeling too bad if he can lift the 300-pounder Bray Wyatt up in the air and suplex him down with relatively ease. That's a pretty nice move from the Undertaker. So I think he's looking pretty good, and if not, he's trying to show it anyways. And Bray Wyatt, nice little move to take down the Undertaker. Now stomping away on the skull. That's not going to be good for the Undertaker. And you have to probably say Undertaker maybe suffered a concussion, maybe suffered, some rib injury. He probably suffered something from Sting beating him up. It was, like I said, it was not pretty. And Bray Wyatt, we saw him earlier on the show make a statement to Jimmy Uso. So now Bray Wyatt knows who he's up against at Survivor Series. This is a big opportunity for him. Dean Ambrose just lost to Chris Jericho, so Ambrose may be coming into the match without a bit of confidence. Maybe just the back of his mind, maybe feeling as though he might not be able to beat one of these big dogs such as Sting and Chris Jericho. But obviously, having beat Bray Wyatt a number of times, I think Ambrose would be pretty confident that he could put Bray Wyatt away. So it's important for Bray Wyatt himself to get a big victory over the Undertaker here, who's arguably not 100%, like I said. And wait a minute, here we go, but it's Snake Eyes. Here comes the big boot, and down goes Bray, and the leg drop as well. Vintage Undertaker. Here we go with a cover. That could be enough to put Wyatt away. It's not, as he kicks out at 2, but a beautiful sequence there by the Undertaker, showing that he's still ready to go. And wait a minute, Bray Wyatt in a world of trouble. He's going for a ride. It could be his last one, as the last ride is hit there by the Undertaker, and Wyatt kicks out at 2. Wow, there you go. I didn't think Bray would be able to kick out of that, but Bray showing some life here, trying to stay in it, and a nice counter there. Undertaker countering again, as Bray Wyatt is sent back down. Can Bray Wyatt recover? Undertaker looking perhaps to put him away. Has he got that one big move left in him? Here we go. Is this going to be it? The tombstone, pile driver. The arms are crossed, the cover, but Bray's foot was next to the ropes. Undertaker making a mistake. Undertaker, perhaps a bit of ring rust, didn't really realize the position that Bray Wyatt was in, as Wyatt is sent down again. But has the effects of the tombstone done enough to keep Wyatt down and out for the 3 count? Wait a minute, what the hell is the Undertaker trying to do now? Undertaker, is he going to the top rope? Wait a minute. The 6'10" monster, 300-pounder, looking to go to the top rope. And, oh, we saw Bray Wyatt roll back over and decided to go against it, probably for a good reason. I don't think that would have been a good idea from the dead man. And these strikes down from the Undertaker. And a side suplex there from the dead man. Can he get to a cover? Bray Wyatt's already suffered a lot of damage. The Undertaker hasn't been able to capitalize on Bray Wyatt. Wyatt now getting back, or rolling over, trying to get back to his feet. Undertaker now with a cover. 2. That's it. Wow, okay, Undertaker. Well, he did enough damage from before to keep Bray Wyatt down. I mean, he hit everything that he had in his arsenal. And Bray Wyatt, he could never really get back to his feet. I think Bray Wyatt may have been out of it from the tombstone. And he was lucky enough that Undertaker made a mistake and didn't drag Bray Wyatt's legs back into the middle of the ring. You can see Bray Wyatt never got back to his feet. He never knew where he was. And that's a big victory for the Undertaker. And whoa, 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 whoa! Are you kidding me? Sting is here! Sting making his first SmackDown appearance! He has a baseball bat in hand. He's gonna drop it though, as he gets in the ring, deciding against it. But we already saw him do so much damage to The Undertaker in Hell in a Cell. Is he back for more? How much more can The Undertaker take? Just days away from Survivor Series, but he's just standing in the middle of the ring. Undertaker's gonna go right up in his face. He is not afraid of the Stinger. Undertaker, Sting, is it going to happen at Survivor Series? We're going to find out really soon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Universe Mode. If you did like it, please leave a like on the video. Make sure you are subscribed so you can see Survivor Series when it does come out. Thank you so much, guys. Please, I'm going to be working on Survivor Series. Got a lot of things to do at the moment, so it's going to take a little while. It's going to be a bit of a delay, but it is coming. So please be patient, guys. Thank you so much for supporting the series. I hope you guys enjoy Survivor Series, and I hope you all have a great day. Thanks, guys.